So, real quick before we even start, have you ever been sitting on your bed doing absolutely nothing and just felt this random wave of, like, wait, what am I even doing with my life? It just hit you out of nowhere? It's like you're 23, you got a job and friends, and everything's fine on paper, but that weird feeling shows up anyway. Well, that's what we're talking about. Why Gen Z's having a full blown quarter life crisis, sometimes before we even turn 25. And I'm not talking about the normal, like, I don't know what I want for my career kind of thing. I'm talking about something deeper, something almost nobody's explaining right. So stick around because by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why you feel this way. And honestly, it might make you feel a lot less alone. Also, if you're new here, hit sub now because future you might need this channel when crisis hits. And trust me, it will always hit again. So let's get into it. So the first reason is that it's a fact we didn't get one clear path to adulthood. We got 100 different paths which were all mixed together with no order. Back in the day, adulthood had a pretty simple checklist. You graduated first, then you got your job that you wanted, you got married and you bought your house, and then you had kids. And that was adulthood, and that was the whole path right there. But for us, that whole checklist got broken into pieces and scattered everywhere. Some of us have the job and not the house. Some have the relationship and not the career. Some of us have none of it and we're just vibing trying to figure life out. I personally have the relationship and the house, but I don't have anything close to a career that I want yet. But maybe YouTube could be that thing eventually. Even though the checklist broke apart, the voice in our head didn't get the memo at all. That old checklist is still whispering at us, telling us we're behind. Then we compare ourselves to that invisible timeline, the one that doesn't even exist anymore, and we feel like failures for no real reason. So we end up in this constant state of feeling behind, even when there's technically no race to be behind in. It's like running a marathon where they removed the finish line and forgot to tell the runners. You're just out there exhausted and wondering why you don't feel done yet. And I think that actually could be the biggest reason we feel old before our time. But a common denominator in many Gen Z issues is one thing, and we have to talk about it. It's the internet. The internet turned our childhood into an era, like an actual chapter with a beginning and an end. Every trend, every show, meme, and song from when we were kids got turned into nostalgic content almost immediately. But then, because the internet moved so fast, that nostalgia hit us way earlier than it hit any generation before us. Think about it for a second. Millennials got nostalgic for their childhoods in their 30s. We're getting nostalgic for things that happened 5 years ago. A TikTok sound from 2019 already feels like ancient history. A show we watched when we were 12 already has remember this edits with sad piano music over it. Then our brain starts treating our early 20s like the end of something instead of the beginning of something. Therefore, we start grieving our own youth while we're still young. It's such a strange backwards thing to go through. Most generations get to live their life in their 20s. We're living our 20s while simultaneously mourning them in real time because the internet keeps reminding us how fast it's all disappearing behind us. When you're constantly saying goodbye to versions of yourself before you even got settled into them, of course it feels like a crisis. You're not being dramatic, your brain's just processing loss on fast forward. My third point here is one that snuck up on me a little bit personally, and it's that we grew up watching everyone else's highlight reel of becoming an adult. Not just celebrities, but actual people our age. Regular people posting their new apartments, their promotions, engagement rings, and vacations. Even their glow ups, which I didn't have, but some people did. But the thing is, a highlight reel only shows the finished result and never shows the boring, messy middle part where someone was actually broke, actually confused, and failing at stuff behind the scenes. Then our brain does this unfair math where it compares our messy behind the scenes to everyone else's polished final cut. Therefore, adulthood starts to feel like a performance we're all failing at, when really we're just comparing our rough draft to everyone else's edited final version. It's kind of like watching a cooking show and feeling bad that your kitchen's a mess, then forgetting that they cut out 3 hours of prep work before they even started filming the show. We're doing that same thing in our real lives, except the kitchen is our entire life and the camera never turns off. My last point here, and probably the most practical, is that the career ladder basically disappeared. Somehow the pressure to grow up and level up stuck around just as strong as ever. Our parents' generation had this clear structure. When you started at the top of a company, you climbed up from there. You got raises and you got promotions, and you can actually see your progress happening throughout time. But for a lot of us nowadays, especially in the gig economy or freelance world, or even jobs that don't really have a clear ladder, there's no obvious next rung to be climbed. You can be working incredibly hard and still have no visible proof that you're moving forward. Therefore, growth becomes invisible, but the expectation to grow stays loud and constant. And when you can't see your own progress, your brain assumes there isn't any. It's such a quiet, sneaky kind of stress. It's not that we're lazy or unmotivated, it's that the whole structure that used to show people their own kind of progress vanished and nobody replaced it with anything. So when you put all of this together, the broken checklist, the early nostalgia, the highlight reel comparison, and the invisible ladder, it makes total sense why so many of us are having these many exponential moments in our early 20s instead of our 40s, like generations before us. But this is the thing I really want you to take from this video and the most important part of this whole thing here. It's not personal failure. It's not because you're lazy or behind or doing life wrong at all. It's because the entire structure around growing up changed faster than our expectations did. Then, because nobody updated the instructions, we're all just quietly panicking in our rooms thinking it's just us when really it's everybody. So if you're going through this right now, I need you to hear me when I say this. You are not in this alone at all. Like, painfully not alone, trust me. And if this video made you feel even a little bit understood, please do me a favor and hit the sub. I have so much more of this generational deep dive stuff coming. And honestly, we're just figuring this shit out together, man. One slightly chaotic video at a time. So, again, that's all I got for you today. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.